and they're going to study because it's right in front of them. And here's what happens. We kind of imagine that the clock is in front somewhere here. Students have told me, especially those who tend to get nervous when they take tests, all the way to very nervous, they tend to get to a test early and they sit there and study. So that's one mistake. And they also keep checking the clock. And they look at it like 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 20 minutes, and it's like the countdown to the electric chair. It starts to make them more and more nervous, which is not good. You're trying to minimize that as much as you can. So my suggestion to everybody always is to arrive 5 to 15 minutes early, and you may end up doing that normally in your classes, but as I said, especially on the day of a test, it's really important to do. Now, one of the things that I can tell you as a teacher, and having looked at a lot of student tests over the years, on average, people who are there at the beginning of a test score higher, higher percentage pass a test than people who show up late. And this is true even if somebody's 1 minute late, or 5 minutes late, or 10 minutes late. It doesn't matter. They almost always score lower. And so one reason to get there a little early is so that you're there for the entire test and have all the time you need. That's kind of obvious. But there's another thing, and that is, quick question for you about this, is that if you arrive 5, 10, 15 minutes early and you're not going to sit there studying, what are you going to do for those last 5, 10, 15 minutes? Yes, both of those sound good to me. Not take a nap or whatever, that's probably bad, but relax and breathe. I don't know when you take your tests in college whether you are totally calm all the way to really nervous. Everybody is different, but even if you're a little bit nervous, one of the things that's really good when you get there is to make sure you have your Scantron and your pencil or whatever you need, and then just sit there and close your eyes and take some deep breaths in and out. Most of the time when somebody's really nervous, their breathing changes, and they usually don't know that, but it does change. And what happens to the breathing when you get nervous? It gets, yeah, I always describe this like a dog panting, although hopefully you don't look like that, but it's like that, like short panting breaths. And that's what happens when you get really nervous. Well, if you show up for a test and you sit there and you think, I'm nervous or I'm not nervous, whatever you think, and you end up taking some deep breaths, and this is the way your breaths sound, and this happens to students all the time. I've had students say, I don't think I'm nervous, but maybe I am, let me try. And so they do this. And then they open their eyes and think, I think I need another one, and another one. And so you get your breathing under control. It doesn't mean you're not going to be nervous, but it helps. Also, big benefit, every time you take a really deep breath, you're getting more oxygen to your brain. That's a good thing right before a test. It's like you're opening up everything that's in there. And so this is the main reason for it. And then wanted to show you one other thing, and then I'm going to give you the third strategy. Does anybody have a textbook in here that I can borrow for just a minute? Okay, oh, a big one. Okay. All right. Every semester that I teach, here's what I see, especially the first test. I walk in to give the first test, take roll, 2 minutes to the test, and half the students are sitting there with their Scantron, and they're looking at me and just saying kind of like, okay,